You must have gotten a notification that the session is being recorded. Again, thank you for joining in. I am Maha Salman. I am joining in from Pakistan. I co-lead Evaluate Asia and Professionalization of Evaluation team of Asia Pacific Evaluation Association. Just a few housekeeping rules. Keep your microphone and video turned off during the session so that we can hear each other clearly. If you haven't already renamed yourself, please use this format that is on the slide. Your first name followed by your last name, followed by the VOPE and EY chapter name. We would love to engage and interact with you, and for that, we'll request you all to please use the chat box. Introduce yourself, post your questions, comments, suggestions. We want this session to be interactive. So for that, keep engaging with us. And to formally open with and I'm going to invite Professor Kiko Nishino for the opening remarks and opening this summit with her positivity and with her wisdom. Good morning and welcome, Professor Kiko.
Thank you, Maha. Yes. Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, and maybe for some of you, good evening to you all, and to all the participants who gathered here today. I'm Keiko Nishino. I'm the Vice President of APIA. I'm very honored to welcome you all to the second VOPE Evaluate Chapter Summit on Professionalization on Evaluation in the Pacific region. As you recall, the first summit was held in November 2021 last year, and we decided to organize a regular follow-up summit. The objective of this second summit are to understand what has been already accomplished on professionalization in the region, and two, to understand the outcome of the survey on professionalization, and three, to understand the role of VOPEs and Evaluate chapter on promoting professionalization. In this summit, a survey results of the status of professionalization in Asia Pacific region will be presented by Randika and Madhuka, and followed by the breakout session to promote professionalization among the VOPE and Evaluate chapter in this region. And the Each One Teach One campaign is introduced by Tashi. So many activities we are aiming at. So as a member of the professionalization team, I sincerely expect the fruitful discussion and outcome of this important summit. So now summit is open, and thank you very much. Over to you, Maha.
Thank you so much, Professor Kiko, for this overview of the session. And we're all looking forward to learning and sharing our experiences with each other. And just as we go forward, just a very interesting tidbit for all of you, since we're talking and the focus is professionalization of evaluation. These three reports are some very useful tools. If you're interested in professionalization of evaluation, you can use this link to access the competency framework for evaluators, the pathway for assessment of competencies for evaluators, and the case of career development. So these are some of the tools that you can use for professionalization of evaluation. Do check these out. The link is given below. Next, another exciting thing for you to join is the Brownback Series on professionalization of evaluation. And I'm going to be a little biased because I am hosting these sessions. So I will encourage all of you to join these sessions. These are just 30-minute sessions that we are hosting every month. And for the first session, we were our friends from Sri Lanka joined in for the second session, which is going to be on 27th May. We have the speakers from Japan, and Professor Kiko and her colleague will be joining in. So do sign up for these sessions. We'll be sending you the link during the session also, and through emails also. So next up, as Professor Kiko mentioned, that a survey was held on the status of professionalization in the Asia Pacific region. And we're very grateful to all of you who contributed from different parts of the world and helped us with compiling the results. So I will invite Randika and Madhuka to present the results of the survey. So over to you, Randika and Madhuka.
Thank you, Maha, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So we are here to present some key points of final report on status of professionalization of evaluation in Asia Pacific. This report was prepared based on the survey we conducted last year. So hope you are already received the report via our emails, or else you can visit our website and read it. Maha, can you go to the next slide? Okay, we actually sent out the survey to 38 national VOPEs and 9 EY chapters in this region. As you can see here in the map, we have received responses from 14 VOPEs and 7 EY chapters. Next slide. The purpose of our study was to assess the status of professionalization of evaluation in this region so that appropriate intervention can be proposed and implemented according to the country's context and priorities. So the results of survey are summarized according to the 4 key areas of this study. As you can see here, the 4 key areas are standards, ethics, guideline, code of conduct for evaluation, and then education and training of evaluation, professionalization of evaluation, and future collaboration for professionalization of evaluation. Next slide, please. As you can see here, when it comes to the status of standards, ethics, code of conduct for evaluation, the majority of VOPEs and UI chapter members have stated that evaluation standards, ethics, and code of conduct for evaluation are either not available in their countries or they don't aware about them. But majority stated that of guidelines, their guidelines are available in their countries and they are aware about them. And next slide, please. Okay, the majority of PY chapters and VOPE members have stated that in their countries, they have less number of academic courses related to MNE. But when it comes to the non-academic courses, the majority stated that in their countries, there are non-academic courses related to MNE available, and they also aware about these courses. So my colleague Randika will continue the presentation. Thank you. Over to you, Randika.
Thank you, Madhuka. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you can see from the 3 pie charts here that overall the survey results on the status of professionalization shows that more work needs to be done to professionalize the field in Asia Pacific region. So based on the survey results in the first pie chart here, only 20% of the respondents shared that the evaluator competencies are identified in their country, and 45% said that evaluator competencies are not identified in their country, and as you can see, 35% said they did not know whether competencies are identified or not. Currently, Sri Lanka Evaluation Association, through stakeholder consultation, has developed a competency framework for evaluators and competency calibration manual. Looking at the next pie chart there, regarding the existence of programs to assess evaluator competencies in the country, 75% majority of the respondents says there is no such program in the country, and only Australia Evaluation Society mentioned that they are in the process of developing a self-assessment mechanism for evaluator competencies, and Sri Lanka Evaluation Association is also working to develop the competency assessment pathway. And for the final pie chart in this slide, majority of the respondents said there is no accreditation or certification program for the evaluators in the country, and 20% did not know if such programs exist. Japan, for example, is the only country where an accreditation program exists for the evaluators, which was developed by Japan Evaluation Society. Next slide. So this is about, this survey question asked about future collaborations. And as you can see, majority of the respondents from the value chapters and VOPEs said that they're interested in initiating a program for professionalization of evaluation in their country. And for the next point, all of the respondents, 100% of them said that they showed interest in using the available professionalization of evaluation related resource and products from Asia Pacific Evaluation Association. So like Maha showed earlier, you all have access to the competency framework for evaluators and competency assessment pathways. And I hope the VOPEs and evaluate chapters will review that and develop something like that. And then 95% or majority of the respondents said they were willing to collaborate with the APIA to implement programs in the future. So that's why these VOPE summits are important to see how we can take this forward. Next slide. So these are some of the key recommendations that we come out from the report. Of course, there are more which you all can read in the report. So one of them is there has to be a clear strategy in order to mobilize VOPEs and evaluate chapters to address the professionalization in their respective countries. So during this VOPE summit, we will be discussing this further. And of course, this has to be a collaborative process where this strategy is developed. So later on, we will be going into breakout rooms and we'll be working on this more. And for the second recommendation, it's important that the collection and reviewing of and compiling available ethics standards and code of conduct and sharing them with other countries for learning as follow-up from this survey is critical. So in the report, you will see some of the links also available for the standards and codes. And also some of these links are available also on the standards and codes available on the report on the status of National Evaluation Policy System study that was done for the Asia Pacific region last year. So some of them are available in that as well. And then also another thing is it's important also to detail the existing academic courses and should be reviewed that was mentioned in this survey and compiled. So from some of the academic and non-academic courses listed in this study as well, there are links that you all can access. And also there is a whole list of this also available from the academic needs assessment study that was done part of the partnership team. I think we can share the link here also in the chat, which has compiled some of this. So it's important that all of these are brought into one place and compiled. And then it's another recommendation is it's important and to have a follow-up mechanism to develop for VOPEs and evaluate chapters to initiate professionalization programs in their respective countries and for them to start something that's simple and effective. So today's session also, we can see and brainstorm what are some of the simple activities that VOPEs and Evaluate chapters can start off with. And next slide, please. So based on the recommendation, these are the action steps that APIA and also the professionalization team can take going forward. So like I mentioned earlier, it's important, first action is to develop a clear strategy to mobilize and work with VOPEs and Evaluate chapters. So which we will start today, the process, and then another action step is to provide technical support for VOPEs and Evaluate chapters on professionalization. So for example, APIA is supporting and meeting with VOPE and Evaluate chapters that are interested. So currently we have met with Pakistan, Bhutan, and or any other VOPE Evaluate chapters interested, please reach out to us and we will provide support and guidance. And then also to organizing events like this VOPE and Evaluate Summit is important to mobilize and support countries and to share experience and learning. And also now we have our monthly Brownback sessions. And I think that's a good way for countries to share their experience on professionalization. And I encourage all the VOPE and Evaluate chapter members here to attend all monthly those Brownback sessions moderated by Maha. And also through the Asia Pacific Communication Hub, it's important to create awareness on social media and other means on the available professionalization products. So the evaluators and others in the region are aware of this and can take steps to work towards professionalizing the field of evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhuka and Randika, for sharing the results and summarizing the action points so well. These reports, these surveys are very important to know where we stand as individually as countries and regionally as collectively also, and it just gives us a signal of what needs to be done and how we can do it. And we all have to do this together. So it's a great way to basically bring everyone together and sort of mobilize everyone, bring them all together on one page and collectively decide, as it was mentioned in the action steps I was reading again and again, collective reviewing, collective compiling, reviewing, coming up with a clear strategy. All of this can be done only if we come together and decide things together and help each other out and share the experiences. Because in the region, some of the countries are doing great work and it gives a lot of inspiration to others to follow their steps and learn from their experience. So now that we have we've gone over the results of the survey, this next session is the discussion on what VOPEs and EY chapters can do for professionalization of evaluation. And for this session, we're going to be splitting into breakout rooms. Our facilitators will encourage you all to have a conversation about how EY chapters can mobilize their members and create more awareness. You can discuss what are the ongoing activities or some of the activities that you've completed or in the pipeline, and share your experiences. If you're using any professionalization project, talk about that. If you think that there is a gap or a need for a product or a tool or a skill, then mention that so that maybe we can all think about that and in future work together to develop it. And also, what support do you require from IPIA or any regional global hub? So now we're going to be splitting into breakout rooms, and I will encourage all of you to speak and have a healthy conversation. So, Sachin, can you please start the breakout rooms. So we'll start with group 1. So just as you mentioned, so we don't have the notes, but if anybody wants to speak up, that's fine also. So we'll have the slide.
Maha, there is notes. Let me.
Or let me refresh, maybe I'm unable to
Okay.
review the notes.
Just refresh and see if not.
Just give me a minute. Okay, great. So please introduce yourself, and each speaker has 2 minutes. Introduce yourself and go over the main points in your that were discussed in the And meanwhile, I request everyone to please mute your mics so that we can hear the speaker well. So group 1, please.
Can someone from group 1 present these points that we discussed in the breakout room?
Dulga, can you nominate a person, or if you would like to, you can also go over the main points.
Okay. Asanika, would you like to go ahead?
I hope the other groups have nominated a speaker. If not, this is the time.
Okay. Since Asanika, go ahead. Yeah.
I was wondering if I should just play the. Okay. So for Pakistan, they were happy with the DAC being translated into Urdu, since Urdu is a native language. And can you all hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. For the Pakistan chapter, so they were happy with the translation of the that document in Urdu, since Urdu is a native language, and it kickstarts the propagation of that material, and making it readily available to
So now, thank you, Group 1. So you've mentioned some of the challenges, some of the work that Pakistan and Afghanistan has done. So now we'll move to group number 2.
Thanks, Maha. On behalf of group number 2, I will quickly present. Can you see our notes?
No. I can see the notes of group number 3. They're not there.
Okay, we included group number 2 notes there. I don't know why it is not in my screen. I can see. So actually now we had in our group, we had Azerbaijan, Australia, Sri Lanka, Philippines, India, and Fiji as well. If I missed any country, sorry about that. So Azerbaijan, actually we had time to discuss with Azerbaijan only. Azerbaijan said, professionalization is very new for them. No specific experience about professionalization so far, because they have only few members in the network, the VOPE. and they are also not very strong evaluation professionals. And also mentioned that need to involve young evaluators. So professionalization can be strengthened more in the future. And what I asked them was if APIA can help them to organize an awareness program for VOPE members on professionalization, whether they can, jointly organize it for their members. Yes, so if APIA can help, they can organize that. This is what we have heard from APIA side. So they are happy to, as the first step, to have an awareness program for Azerbaijan members as well as some young professionals. And we will also try to find, based on their common language, English or whatever, from speakers who can raise awareness on professionalization among Azerbaijan VOPE members. Other VOPEs, I know that they also have good experience, but we did not have time to discuss in our group. Thank you.
Thank you, Asela, for the summary. And I'm sure APIA has taken notes on what to do next. And I'm looking forward that we will be working with all those who are interested. So let's move to group number 3, Professor Kiko's group. And these are the notes. Anyone from group number 3, please share, summarize the discussion.
Ika, shall I continue? Nazgul. Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm sorry I cannot switch on my video. So do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Thank you. So the group 3 consisted of Indonesia, Philippines, Pakistan, Japan, and Kyrgyzstan representatives. So we discussed that we need more professionalization products. And in case of Japan, for example, the VOPE representative said that they actually do not elaborate or develop any products, but they mainly deliver trainings and some kind of guidelines, code of conducts, and some other products. And so all VOPs unanimously agreed that we all need more products for professionalization. For example, I can say more about Kyrgyz VOPE Evaluation Society or Association. So in Kyrgyzstan, we closely collaborate with UNDP and GIZ and with other international organizations in elaborating the monitoring and evaluation manuals, guidelines for the parliaments and national authorities. So, and Kyrgyz VOPE is the institutional memory of all delivered products. And because you know that Kyrgyzstan is prone to change of parliament, of the government, and we had several times reshuffling in the government, and that's why the people who trained by Kyrgyz VOPE and by the international organizations, they often leave their positions, and we have to establish new ties and connections again with the new people. So that's why this time again we lost our ties in the parliament, and we still again contacting the new people and explaining everything from the scratch. So actually the government officials, they are not interested in result-based management, and that's why Kyrgyz VOPE, it's some kind of, again, it's an institutional memory, and it's a tie between the international organizations and the national authorities in terms of capacity building. So we are planning, we do have the general guideline on monitoring and evaluation elaborated several years ago, but the people who were trained, they do not understand the chain of how it should be carried out. And they don't know the practical implication or application of these guidelines and the capacity building activities. So that's why the VOPE again will be connecting with the Parliament, again building the capacity. So we do have some legislations, and we will be still working on integrating and implementing these policies elaborated several years ago. And for the youth and for the members of Kyrgyzstan, what we are going to do. So we received several offers from independent evaluators who collaborate, for example, who were invited for UNDP. And we also the member of the Eurasian Alliance of National Associations. We do have some experts from this alliance, and we have internal resources. So we are going to deliver some virtual and hybrid trainings for all these members. And yeah, the time is over, seems. So that's all actually for now.
Thank you so much, Nazgul. This was a detailed answer, and we're glad you shared the experience of Kyrgyzstan and summarized them also. So we'll move to group number 4 now, the last group.
Yeah, Jill will present. Jill.
Okay, thank you very much. In the group discussion, we identified that Mongolia does not have a course on monitoring evaluation, and there's not a lot of awareness in the field. So solutions in that space were really to reach out through academics, particularly in the cities, to ask them to develop short courses and training materials on monitoring and evaluation, raising awareness and establishing cooperation amongst academics for the promotion of monitoring and evaluation is seen as important. I was able to comment that in Australia, we have a Masters of Evaluation, which is run through the University of Melbourne. And so that's a full academic qualification specifically about evaluation. The Australian Evaluation Society also offers a wide range of skills-based workshops, some of which are free and some which come at a cost, and they're available always online. We have also, due to member demand, started a mentoring program. It's a free program where we have volunteer mentors, very experienced evaluators who are mentoring online a small group of early to mid-stage evaluators. It's based on an application process, and the program runs for 6 months, and we ran it last year, we're running it again this year, and evaluating it again. So we'll be presenting and publishing about that. And that model may well work in other countries. It may be of interest. So we talked a little bit also about how do we promote the professionalisation of evaluation, and talked about increasing understanding of evaluation and skills in organisations that commission evaluations. So trying to get a groundswell of understanding that evaluation is an actual skill set and a competency. And talking about competencies, the University of Melbourne and the people who lead that master's course have actually developed a competency framework, which is done as a survey, so it's a self-assessment, but it allows participants to see their strengths and weaknesses against a range of competencies. And that's in the Australian context, but it's also being presented at conferences and promoted and published. So that may be something that could be adopted by other countries when it becomes available. We did talk about identifying standards in Australia for evaluators and realised that's very context dependent. So actually the best solution we could come up with was to recognise that there are many standards for evaluation that have been developed around the world that are really good and very complementary, and to try and create for our members a list of those, just a hyperlinked list, so that there was one place where evaluators in different contexts could go to and say, what other standards I should be considering for this program, evaluation, this project, and at least be informed by those without assuming that any particular standard is superior to any other. There was also a suggestion of initiating guest lecturing in monitoring and evaluation, which is something that happens in Australia also and is very helpful. So in other countries, I'm sure that would be very applicable. All right, that's what we came up with. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing this. So now that we've covered all the groups, and I'm really glad to hear the discussion, because a lot of activities are already happening in different countries. Some are learning, some are developing new courses or working towards a new series. Some sort of discussion is already happening. Movement is already happening in countries, or they have identified what they need to do. So as you can see on the screen, there's some pointers, some quick wins, some short-term activities and long-term activities. And if you read these are some of the things that you've already talked about. So I'm not going to go over all of these in detail. These are some of the things that some countries are already working towards. The only thing that I'm going to mention here is, and from what I can conclude from the discussion also, is that some of you already also mentioned that the need for APIA or their role, what role can APIA or the regional global platforms can play. So as far as APIA is concerned, I will encourage all of you who need some sort of mentoring or assistance to contact our team, to contact us. There's Randika, Madhuka, Asela, or there's me, and so many other leaders also. Contact us with regards to any sort of help that you require with any activity that you're planning or any help that you need, so that we can link, share relevant resources and link you with different VOPEs or the resource contact persons who can help you out in designing and implementing the activity that you're planning. So moving forward, I'm going to invite Tashi Chodan, the co-lead Evaluate Asia, to introduce the Each One Teach One campaign. Over to you, Tashi.
Thank you, Maha. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. On behalf of APC Hub community, we are pleased to inform you all that to mark the milestone in the journey of strengthening community ownership, soon we are going to launch the Each One Teach One campaign. And this Each One Teach One campaign is a social media campaign that will help a meaningful engagement of the community in the evaluations. And the main objectives of this Each One Teach One campaign is to promote the awareness of the importance of evaluations. And with the help of this campaign, it will build the engagement of evaluations professionals and create an opportunity for the public and public on taking the ownership in the evaluations. With this, I would like to inform you all that this campaign is not just limited to social media. The social media platform is just to share the experience that you have gained through monitoring and evaluations. The main motive and the expectations from this campaign is that each one of you teaches someone who is not aware of monitoring and evaluations. And it is basically to transfer the knowledge that you have gained and to teach someone online or face-to-face. For this campaign, we would like to invite individuals and institutions, VOPEs, government organizations, academic evaluators, development professionals, policymakers, and the private sectors. And for this campaign, everyone is invited to share the experience and knowledge on monitoring and evaluations. So in order to join this Each One Teach One campaign, please feel free to share with us the videos, articles, photographs, or postcards that you all have learned and gained the experience related to monitoring and evaluations. And those who wishes to share or are interested can reach us by writing email, and later our organizing committee will be sharing a communication pack where you can find all the process to join the Each One Teach One campaign, and it will reach out to you soon. And yeah, so lastly, Each One Teach One will be launching on 6th July 2022 from 6 p.m. IST. And I would like to request you all to join the campaign. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sashi. It is very creative and very exciting. I love the concept, Each One Teach One, and we're all looking forward to it. And now we're coming to the end of the summit, and for that, I'm going to invite Asela, the president of PIA, for the closing remarks. Over to you, Asela.
Thank you, Maha. Thank you very much. And I'm really happy that we had the second VOPE summit. We call it VOPE summit, but we invite VOPEs as well as Evaluate chapters in the region to participate in the summit to talk about professionalization. It is an important event for us because we all talk about professionalization of evaluation, but it is important for us to think, what are we doing to promote professionalization, to reach, professionalization of evaluation. That's why we started this. And as you all know that we have the regional evaluation strategy, professionalization of evaluation is one of the 8 themes. And this team organizes this, and there are several other activities we are doing under the professionalization team. What we want is to interact with VOPEs and Evaluate chapters in the region and see how we can educate our members first and raise awareness among our members about professionalization of evaluation, because first, our constituencies should know about importance and why we are doing professionalization. And then we need to do next steps to achieve professionalization, like developing or identify competencies and developing competency frameworks. Now, Australia mentioned that they have developed competency framework. Even I know that Sri Lanka competency framework is developed, and also assessment process is developed. And some of the countries have academic courses. Sri Lanka has postgraduate diploma course, and last week we developed a master degree in monitoring and evaluation, 2 years research master, and it will be started soon. And Australia mentioned that they have the master degree at the University of Melbourne. So we want many countries to also promote academic courses. We have also under the regional strategy started a consortium of academic institutions that is also going on to promote this. But at the same time, whether these academic courses are based on competencies, this is what is important. So that's why VOPEs and Evaluate chapters need to take the lead to identify competencies and also develop competency frameworks. You can definitely use the regional framework as well. And what else needs to be done? Now, one creative activity is Each One Teach One, because now this is one of the suggestions came in the consultation we had about community ownership in evaluation. Somebody suggested that there should be different individuals giving this message about evaluation to others, at least one person to another. So that's how we came up with Each One Teach One. This is a very simple concept. At least you educate someone else about evaluation. Very simple messages. Likewise, we need to promote, and if the citizens or public are aware of evaluation, that is also easier for us to promote professionalization. So I must say that we have a very good participation today. South Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, Pacific. Pacific participation is very important for us, among others, of course, because we mostly see less participation in Pacific. So we promote Pacific participation in our events. So we are thankful to all the participants, all the countries, all the VOPEs and Evaluate chapters, as well as I must thank our organizing committee, our team for organizing this event, the VOPE Summit, and our excellent moderator, Ma Salman, and our production team and communication teams as well. Thank you very much, everyone, but this is not the last. At least every 6 months, we will have this summit, and in between, we want to professionalization team and the APIA regional strategy wants to work with you, interact with you. So we have some results and one day we will reach the professionalization. That's our aim. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you so much, Asela. Also, thank you for encouraging us always and for that great leadership. Now I would request you all to please unmute yourself and turn on the video so that we can capture this moment and take a group picture before we conclude officially conclude the summit. So I will. Okay, let's see your faces. Hello, everyone. Some familiar faces. So good to see you all. Okay, so the production team, I hope you're all ready. So on the count of 3, I want you all to smile big. 1, 2, 3. And again, thank you so much for joining. We had a great, we have a great group, as Asela mentioned, a lot of people joining in from different parts. That is amazing. Lastly, I'm going to be sharing the, you have the website, the email, the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these contact details to keep in touch. Take care of yourself. Thank you for joining in. We all had a great time, and like Asela mentioned, that we will be having these summits, sessions quite frequently, and we will encourage your participation. And if there is something that you would like to begin, just like the Each One Teach One campaign or the Brownback series, we're always there. You should come up with these new ideas, creative ideas, and we would love to participate. So thank you once again, and it's right on the dot. We will conclude the summit. We started on time and we're going to end on time. Thank you so much for joining once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.